The transmission came at dawn. Across the Sol system, holograms flickered to life, projecting the desperate faces of the Galactic Council. Their voices trembled, their pleas laced with panic. Humanity, you must reconsider. We beg you. If you go through with this, you will doom not just yourselves, but all of us. For centuries, the Council had held power over the known universe. Dozens of species had joined their ranks, submitting to their laws, their regulations, their supposed peace. Humanity had once been a mere observer, tolerated but never trusted. That had changed when the Zyre Dominion attacked Mars. The Council had stood by, offering only words as billions burned. Humanity had rebuilt, stronger, deadlier. The Council had pleaded for diplomacy. Humanity had answered with war. Now, the war was over. The Dominion was nothing but ash. And the Council, the once mighty arbiters of galactic law, were afraid. Admiral Tobias Kane stood aboard the HSS Wrathborn, watching the message play. When it ended, he simply turned to his officers and said, "They had their chance." 2. The Reckoning. Humanity had fought for survival. For years, they had been seen as an anomaly, an aggressive, unpredictable species that refused to kneel. When the war began, the Council had expected their extinction. Instead, humanity had turned its enemies into rubble. The Dominion, once the most feared empire in the galaxy, had fallen in weeks. The worlds that had enslaved humanity's colonies were now glassed wastelands. And yet, the Council still believed they could bargain. Their fleets stood in orbit around Turaxis Prime, the last stronghold of those who had conspired against Earth. They were sending peace envoys. Humanity was sending dreadnoughts. 3. The Council's last stand. The Council had always relied on their numbers. The combined forces of 100 species, fleets that had dominated the stars for thousands of years. But their fleets had been built for control, not for war. Humanity's fleets had been forged in fire. Every ship was a weapon of destruction, every soldier trained for a war the rest of the galaxy had never imagined. As the Council's ships formed defensive lines around Turaxis Prime, the Wrathborn led the charge. The battle lasted minutes. When the smoke cleared, the Council's last fleet was gone. The transmission channels were silent. Humanity had given its answer. 4. The Judgment of Turaxis. Turaxis Prime was the heart of the Council's rule. A planet of diplomats, aristocrats, and rulers who had never known war. Now, it was surrounded. Dropships fell from the sky, carrying the elite of the Terran vanguard. In the capital, trembling politicians stood in their ivory towers, waiting for a mercy that would never come. Admiral Kane's voice echoed across every broadcast, every street, every home. "You ignored our suffering. You let our people burn. And now, you ask for mercy? There will be none." The vanguard swept through the city. The Council's leaders were dragged from their palaces. The era of their rule ended in blood. 5. The Fall of the Old Order. Across the galaxy, the message was clear. The Council was dead. Humanity was the new power. Some worlds rejoiced. Under the Council's rule, they had been subjugated, forced into servitude. Now, they saw hope in humanity's defiance. Others trembled. They had once mocked Earth, dismissed them as insignificant. Now, they watched as their fleets burned, their rulers executed. The question was no longer if humanity would rule. It was how they would shape the future. 6. The Resistance. Not all species accepted the new order. From the ruins of the old empires, remnants of the Council's loyalists gathered, vowing vengeance. They called themselves the Last Accord, a desperate coalition of those who still believed humanity was a threat to existence itself. They launched raids on human colonies. They assassinated leaders. They tried to turn the tide. But they had already lost. Humanity's response was swift, brutal, and final. For every attack, 10 of their worlds fell. There would be no rebellion. 7. The rise of the Terran Dominion. With the galaxy under their control, humanity restructured everything. No more council. No more false peace. The galaxy would be ruled by order, an order built by those who had survived the fires of war. Earth became the new capital, the beating heart of an empire spanning thousands of worlds. The Terran Dominion was born. And at its head stood the Conclave, humanity's ruling body, a government forged by warriors, not politicians. 8. The last plea. Years passed. The galaxy changed. Under humanity's rule, it thrived. Worlds that had once been oppressed flourished. Trade boomed. Crime vanished. For the first time in millennia, there was true stability. But one day, a message arrived. A transmission from beyond known space. From something older than the Council. A warning. You have done what no species has ever dared. You have taken the throne of the stars. But there is a reason no empire lasts forever. The true rulers of this galaxy are returning. 9. The Dark Horizon. Humanity had barely begun to enjoy their victory when the first anomalies appeared. Deep space probes vanished. Entire moons were stripped bare overnight. A black rift opened at the edge of the Andromeda expanse, a wound in space itself. And from it came something terrifying. Not ships. Not fleets. But devourers. Entities that did not conquer. They consumed. Entire worlds fell in hours, their populations screaming as they were pulled into the void. 10. The Final War. The Conclave convened. For the first time since their rise, humanity faced an enemy greater than themselves. But they did not cower. They did not beg. They did what they had always done. They prepared for war. The fleets of the Terran Dominion gathered, more powerful than ever before. Soldiers, augmented and armed with weapons beyond imagination, stood ready. Humanity had fought to claim the galaxy. Now, they would fight to keep it.